This is a letter to the Sane Society. Um, I could have I could have never worked for government, any government, because a lot of bureaucracy in the government looks very similar to the military. The bureaucracy in the government, in the civil service, a lot of it is very much close to military. When you work for the government, you're not working for a democracy. It's a top-down, or the orders come from top-down, as it is in the military, it is in the bureaucracy, in the civil service. And let's be frank, most of these decisions in this system of what you call democracy that you call it, most of the decisions are made by the bureaucracy, by the civil service servants. When I say most of the decisions are made by civil servants, what I mean is basically civil servants determine the direction of a tribe, a nation, a, a country, and where these civil servants have graduated, with whom they graduated, what they have studied, what perspective of history they have studied that is taught in that specific institution, basically determines the direction that they choose to go, these civil service, which acts very much like the military. So they study together in specific institution, they enter into civil service together, and then they, you know, uh, grow old in the civil service, but their direction, their line of thought, basically was formed when they were in, prep school together, when they were in private school together. That's, you see, from Rishi Sunak to, uh, Boris Johnson, one is, very whitish, the other one is very brownish, but they have gone. They were in school together. If not together, next to each other. If not next to each other, school of the same status in the fucking British society. So the result is that they think the same. They're both wealthy, from wealthy families, never had a broken toy, never, had to ask for something twice in their life. And all the doors are more or less open to them because of, the status that they had in the society, not by their own, by luck. They were born in certain families. So these guys basically, and these guys, forgive me, these guys have been in the government so often, inside, outside, on the sidelines of the government, that you can basically consider them as civil servants. These are not politicians. These are not of the people, from the people. None of these folks, Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak, neither one have ever had callus on their hands. None. A few in Uncle Sam's land claim that their parents, their father at least, had some callus on his hands sometime. These British motherfuckers, they can't recall which parent ever had any callus, which grandparent. Almost none. The money is too old. Or, you know, even if the money is young, at least it's not, they didn't earn it themselves. So my point is this, that civil service in a way becomes like a military in any of these democratic societies. And basically civil service runs the show, runs the direction of country. The civil servants who have studied together in school, they determine it, and pretty much is determined top to bottom. And for example, you can say that let's talk about energy. And if you put the military that is ordered top to bottom, and you put the civil servants that is ordered top to bottom, and you add to this the system of the feudal system of the British system, in which there are still dukes and duchesses, and there's still like 40% of the country is owned by some kind of a duke or duchess, 50% of the land, I guess, I'm guessing, but a large portion of British land is owned by a handful of individuals. You know, all these folks that who have titles, and the British peasant is absolutely the most stupid peasant possible. It's sort of these lords have decided that these peasants have to be absolutely stupid, uh, because that makes ruling the peasants much simpler if they are very stupid. You know, if you plan on being rulers, you need very stupid peasants. You don't need smart peasants, you need very stupid peasants. And you can tell the British public are stupid is because hooliganism over football is specifically a British tradition. The British peasants are so stupid that hooliganism over starting to riot over 11, 22 guys running around a field chasing a ball, and whether who won and who didn't won, starting a riot over that, and doing all kinds of crazy shit, as it's called hooliganism. That's a British tradition. Your peasant has to be absolutely a moron to be involved in hooliganism, which is a tradition in the British peasant class. So my point is this, that you have the hierarchy of the monarchy and all the lords who are back the monarch, and you have the hierarchy of the military, and you have the hierarchy of civil servants, and all these three are specifically top to bottom. Orders come from top to bottom. There's no democracy in it. And the democratic representatives have almost zero power. This bullshit that you guys pull, that the democratic representatives have all the power and the executive branch has all the bullshit. Absolute nonsense. Executive branch, which has to get an okay from the king, or in case of Uncle Sam's system, executive branch who has to get their okay from Wall Street, or people who make most of their money in Wall Street, or in finance. They also don't get calluses on their hands. So the executive power in England is chosen by people who don't get calluses on their hands. They all have to approve that. The king has to approve, the queen or the king has to approve the fucking prime minister. Really, seriously. And the House of Lords can stop the whole fucking thing. And they have enough people in the house. The rich people have enough people to have handfuls, more than handfuls, in the parliament on the payroll of rich people to do their bidding for them. Or better yet, you find some other rich people like Rishi Sunak and Boris Johnson, and you back them to become prime ministers or members of parliament, and this and that. Basically, rich people in England do the same thing, except over there they have titles, lords and lordesses, and in Uncle Sam's, the rich people don't have titles. They just, pick the politicians. They don't need to have titles. Both places, the rich people are choosing the executive branch, and the rest of the branches are basically under the control of the executive branch. And the executive branch and the civil service is, as we said, they just follow orders from top. So my point is this. Why would any of these people who are at the top of the society, due to, luck of the draw or whatever, they are at the top of the society, what if they don't want to keep their higher status, what if they're preventing the evolution of the rest of the society? Just like the British have prevented the evolution of their own society. That's why the British peasant is so stupid nowadays, because they were forced to be stupid. They killed the smart ones. So the point is this, that in order to keep their status, they need the peasants as stupid as possible. That's why educational system, maybe could be wrong, but that's why the educational system in Uncle Sam's land is lacking so much. Or in France, a lot of these European countries are also have gone backwards. I guess, because here's the thing. The most important thing that distinguishes the wealthy from the non-wealthy is energy. It's energy. In other words, what I'm trying to say, that if you make energy free, then price goes away. If energy is free, price goes away. When I say price goes away, what I mean is a tomato in Arizona costs, let's say for example, $3 a pound, for example. The same tomato in the middle of winter in Alaska costs $9 a pound. Is because the difference is because, we all know that the cost of producing that tomato plus some profit for all the people involved in production of that tomato has to come from that pound of tomato. That same cost is 3 times in Alaska, because the price, the energy that has been, not only you have to pay for the energy that has been put into that farm, not only that energy, you have to pay for that cost, that energy, plus some money for the farmer so he can also make a living. Not only you have to pay for that cost of energy, you have to also pay for the cost of energy to transport this tomato to Alaska. That's also the cost of the fuel and the ship and the rent of the ship and the cost of the fuel and the income for the crew involved in the shipping and transportation and the truck and this and that and the other. My point is this: if energy becomes zero, the cost of energy becomes zero, this difference in economic class, it seems it goes away, or it will go away overnight. The reason for the divide in economical class will go away quite easily overnight. This economic disparity, this it will go away overnight, because if cost of energy is zero, then almost everything can be available to everyone at any time, because price of everything is directly dependent on the price of the energy that has gone into producing that thing, whether the cost of maintaining the land, to cost of fertilizing the land, the cost of renting the land, the cost of the seed, so what I'm saying, and if the energy is infinite and free, you basically, transportation will cost zero. That's free. Because everything works on energy. You think there might be a reason for the upper class of any country, specifically the pink skin empire? Do you think pink skin? When I say pink skin empire, I think theoretically the brain of the pink skin empire has moved to London and Washington, but the heart of the pink skin empire still beats in London. This is the colony that the fucking British put together. They just had to hand it over to Uncle Sam's managers because of sheer size. So it's a pink skin colony. Do you think that those people at the upper echelons of this pink skin empire, who want to keep their higher status in the society, if economical status is the reason you're important in a society, then taking away the cause of that difference in economical status will make you like the others. You see what I'm saying, with where I'm going with this? If the cause of your higher economic status is taken away, that anything can be available to anyone at any time because energy is free, then it's difficult for a rich person to justify or be happy with his position in the society. He or she will feel deflated. It's sort of like, I am the king, that therefore I can, have this and that. I am the president, therefore I can get on Lolita Express, go and come back, and nothing will happen to me whatsoever. They just kill the pimp. But my point is this, that this reason for this social difference in social class and this injustice, the reason for it is the difference in economical class. Certain people with economic means have decided that this gentleman should be the president, and that gentleman should be the king, and that gentleman should be the prime minister. And those people with those higher economic status don't want these people to change anything. Because if these people go towards making energy free, pretty much, the whole business model of the very wealthy people in the society goes up in air. Their whole business model. The whole business model of capitalism is based on scarcity. The whole business model of human societies, this structure of structured human society, this business model is based on is a scarcity business model. If it's scarce, it demands higher price, and only those few who have that price, that much number in their account, that can use this resource because it's very scarce. It's sort of like Jeffrey Epstein and his underage prostitutes. It's scarce because it's against the law. Therefore, it has a high price. Underage pussy is scarce because it's against the law. Therefore, this scarcity creates a black market in which Jeffrey Epstein is the right man at the right time to provide that scarce resource to Mr. Bill Clinton. You see where I'm going with this? Who is responsible for Bill Clinton being in that position is some people with a lot more wealth who decided that he should be in that position because he benefits them. My point is this social structure, economical social structure, that results in that social structure, this economical structure, pyramid, which results into that social pyramid, helps a very few to feel special in the society. Very special. Because they have access to unlimited energy, resources. They can have anything at any time that they want because they have access to resources, all the resources. Why? Because some of those resources price is very high and only they can afford it. The idea of anything available to anyone at any time is going to diminish their status in the society. And the idea of anything for anyone at any time is all related to free energy. It seems one of the reasons that the upper echelon of the pink skin empire does not want to acknowledge aliens or acknowledge contact with aliens is because they don't want to import any the energy source of the aliens. They don't want to import the knowledge of decreasing the price of energy and getting rid of this scarcity-based economic model that has given them that status. For them to keep that status, they have to keep this peasant system by creating this scarcity environment. If they acknowledge contact with aliens, if they allow alien technology to be researched and reproduced overtly by very brilliant mind instead of covertly underground by three stupid motherfuckers who agreed to sign a non-disclosure agreement. The brilliant people don't sign a non-disclosure agreement, but the government only agrees to work with anybody who is willing to sign a non-disclosure agreement. That's the end of good research because the brilliant guys are not involved. If you don't get free energy, at least copy it of the alien. If you don't get free energy, you will continue in this with this shit show of scarcity and the pyramid social and economic structure. Salute.